Do you guys remember your first Mario Kart game? Because I know for me, my first one was Mario Kart 64. Played it a lot as a kid, played it with all my siblings, and then we had never owned Mario Kart Double Dash, but I had cousins that had it, and we played it a lot at their house. And I had like one or two friends that had it, but they didn't like playing it as often. And then I think the next one that we ended up owning was the one on DS, and we also had the one on Wii. The one on DS, I mostly played it by myself, and then we had the Wii one, where that was another one where I played it a lot with my siblings. But that was like the first one I think I started taking like seriously, trying to get first place and the high ranks, because I wanted to have all the bikes unlocked and I wanted to have all the characters unlocked. That was my big like thing with that one. And then we had Mario Kart 7. I didn't really play that one like too often. That one really was like a hey, we're just going on like a long drive, or we just have somewhere where we have to, somewhere else to be at. But I didn't have a phone, so I was like, all right, cool. I guess Mario Kart 7 is what we're doing. And then when Mario Kart 8 had come out for the Wii U, which everyone loved it, I actually did play it, not like a whole bunch, but I had a friend who had it and he got super into it. And that was mostly like when I had played that. But then once it came out, the deluxe version came out on Switch, was probably where I like really like got back into Mario Kart, trying to play it like more often, trying to get better at it, and then also playing it with other people. But yeah, I think like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was probably where I like truly got back into Mario Kart and wanted to like actually get like really good at it. Still not like the best at it, but I think it's good enough. And what I mostly wanted to talk about today was the items, just because I think the items are like kind of what everybody like remembers the most about it. I mean, shoot, how many times you talk about somebody like, oh yeah, let's play Mario Kart, and then it's like first thing somebody says is like, dude, I just hate getting hit by the shells, man. I always feel like I'm doing good, and then it's just like out of nowhere, shell comes your way. Especially if you're feeling good and you're in first place, and then you just see that blue shell coming, and you're like, what am I? I can't. Like I think that's something that always kind of deters people from wanting to like play it, is the items. But also gets people really wanting to play is because of the items, because it's like, yes, the items make it fun. And I think it's like the items are kind of like everybody's like big memory when it comes to it. Um, but yeah, like I think some of my like the ones that I'm the most accustomed to, mostly because I stay up in those like higher ish ranks, is like the shells, the coins, which I say like every time I get the coin, I always just come like, why I don't need you, especially if I already have like playing Mario Kart 8 now. I already have 10, and I'm like, I don't need you. You're literally useless. And if I get hit by something, a lot of the times you get hit, you lose the item that you had. So it's not like you can use it, and you're like, oh, I lost 2 or 3 coins. Well, I can just quickly use this and get the one. It typically never ends up being in that way with it. But yeah, like I think the ones I'm mostly familiar with are going to be like the mushrooms, which hey are fantastic for just being like, ooh, it's a little cut across the grass kind of thing, or you use it going on a jump, makes you go a little bit farther. Or if you got somebody who maybe had like just bumped ahead of you, and you're like, no, I don't want you there, and then you can just like quickly pass them or try to bump them off to the side. Always a fun thing being able to do that with them. The shells, I think, are another one where I'm like, I'm used to using it a lot, but I mostly used it on like the defense, just because typically if I'm in like first or second, I'm trying not to get hit from the back. So then I just sat there and just kind of held them, which I think in the newer ones you can't do, which irks the hell out of me. I was always so used to just like holding an item in the back, and then if somebody tries to hit you with something, that shell breaks first. Which then you also get like the triple shells, which it doesn't care if you're holding a freaking shell. Then it's like, sweet, you broke the one. Well, I've got another one, and it's coming right at you. And unless you had like 2 shells ready to go, which you actually could still do in the older games, because you could hold it, and then holding it like behind you didn't take up the slot that was up at top. So then it like you had technically 2 ready to go. And bananas, I think, were very similar to me. Like I always use them just defensively, because they did the same thing, being used like defensively. But I think bananas ended up being like one where like if you're just playing on like playing against the AI or computer players, however you want to call them, the bananas always felt the most useless to me, just because like I could throw one down, remember where I threw it, and then I could do 2 laps, and that same banana was there every time. And I'm like, you're telling me that I put it like in the middle, like, you know, somewhere within like a, you know, certain range in the middle, and just nobody ended up hitting it, even though you see everybody's all like kind of clumped up and going with each other. Just no way at all. Okay, fine, whatever, game. So like for me, bananas always felt useless when it came to laying them down, but keeping a hold of them, that felt fine to me. Like I said, I used it predominantly as a defensive, you know, as a shield. So that's how I went with it. And it was always kind of a bummer that they didn't have the bunch outside of Mario 64. You know, it's like where you get like the 5 bananas and they just blah, 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 and it just is behind you. I kind of wish they would bring that back a little bit. Plus, it was also kind of fun if you had somebody that was getting behind you, especially now where it's like you can look behind you and see them, and you could just, you know, make sure you move like left or right, and then you just hit them with all of them. And I think if you hit them with the bunch, like the other ones would then just kind of like be like laid out, which I thought was super neat, and I wish they would bring that back. But yeah, it's like bananas, the shells. I got the red shells often, but sadly, because like if I got the red shell, if I was in like first or second, it probably wasn't getting used because I was just gonna hold it, unless it was like third lap and you're really close to the end. You have the red shell, there's still somebody in front of you, and you're like, all right, I'm sorry, but I gotta go. And then you know you launch it at them, and then you hope you get in first, because like I know that I've seen times where like I go to throw the red shell, and then if it's like a computer player especially, they'll just randomly have, you know, a shell that they just kind of kept hiding, and I'm like, what? No, all right, well, I guess now I'm either in second or I'm about to restart. Like that was always infuriating. And then you get like, once you get to like those like lower ranks and stuff, those were items that I like. When I always like I get them, and then I like have to look up, and I'm like, wait, what place am I in? I'm not used to getting this. Like bullet bill is always one where I get it. Like I always end like if I'm in like 7th or 6th, it's like always seems to be where I get it at, and I'm like, I mean, this is nice, but I hope that it actually like lasts me, because I'll have times where like I get like the bullet bill, and it'll last like 4 seconds, and I'll get past like one person, and then it just ends, and I'm like, what? And then I'll have times where like maybe if I'm in like 5th or something, and it'll give it to me, and then it'll literally take me all the way up to the front, and I'm like, why didn't you do that last time I had it? I don't. So like the bullet bills always felt kind of random to me. I don't know. And then also you had like in Double Dash where instead of like the bullet bill, you had the chain chomp, which kind of came first. That one always felt super consistent, and it was always neat when you had it. But that was one that like I have moments where I'm like I kind of wish they would bring it back, but I also wish it would work like a little differently. But like if you could just like if it was like a little smaller, and like if you still had it, and you could like maybe hit the button again and let it go and like purposely hit people in front of you, and then you also have like maybe a little bit more control because you don't want it to like randomly let you go, and then you're like over something, and you're like, oh, that's gonna be bad, because you get like something like that. I think like the items that were like the weirdest to me, and that I think I can barely remember ever getting it, is like the Lucky 7 and the Crazy 8. Mostly because like the Lucky 7, I really didn't play that much Mario Kart 7, so I didn't get to I didn't get to experience it that much there, but I thought it was an interesting one to have. Crazy 8, I think I've gotten it like 3 times ever playing it, and whenever I do, that definitely is one where I'm like, there's no way. I have to look up, like, there's no way I'm doing this bad. And it's like, nope, I'm in like 7th or 6th, so yeah, I guess I'm doing bad enough for that. Or maybe it's even like literally in like last place, where I'm like, wow, I really am just doing that poor. All right, cool. Well, spam. We'll just do that. Blue shell is one that I am always on the receiving side of the blue shell. I don't think there's ever really a point where it's like, yes, I have the blue shell. Eat my shell. It is never that. It's always like if I get a blue shell notification, I'm just like, oh no, where am I at? And the first thing I have to do is I have to look and see if there's anybody like close to me, and I'm like, can I like maybe get like somebody else in this blast? Or is there somebody who's like riding me that's in second that I can make this where we both get it? But yeah, like I'm not used to really seeing like all those like lower tier items, like unless I said I'm on the receiving end of it. And I think I know there were items that were like specific to like some games, like Mario Kart Double Dash. I think actually had it like the most, where it was literally like depending on the characters you were using, you got certain items, like the Bowser shell, which I love the idea of the Bowser shell, and I kind of wish that they would bring it back. Which I think now with the next one being like open world, I don't know how much that'll be the case, but you want to make sure like you kind of hit it and it actually like goes towards somebody. But I wonder if you know it's as open as it's gonna be, would that be an item that they would end up just like you would almost never want it, just because if it goes far too off to the side, I mean it just keeps going, and then it's like, well, now we just have to hope it hits somebody just randomly out there, which I mean is probably gonna end up not being the case. And if it's on a timer too, then I mean it would just disappear, and you'd be like, well, that felt like a waste. I think like the Yoshi egg was one that was like I was like that'd be kind of interesting if they had it, because it kind of worked a little bit like a I think it was like the red shell where it would like hone in on somebody, but if it missed or didn't get a chance to hit somebody, it would still end up breaking, but you get other items there. So it's like even if I didn't hit somebody, well, you know what, I can still try to get, you know, maybe like a mushroom or something else. I think you can get stars out of it too. It's been a while since I've really played it. And then I know like the huge banana, if you hit it in double dash, which I think if that was hit, then you get like 3 bananas that pop out of it. I thought that was super neat, and that was only if you were playing as like Diddy or Donkey Kong, which was like super neat. I like that one, and it's also just the fact that you're just like, that's just a big ass banana, and it's like somebody's going to hit it, especially if it's placed right. I really do wish that they would bring back the banana bunch. I wish they would bring that one back, especially with the open world one now. I think it makes more sense than ever to do that. You get like I want to, you know, I would love to see the bullet bill kind of still be be a thing, but it's going to be weird now with it. Supposedly them saying it's going to be like open. If the track really is as open as they say it's going to be, how is that going to work? Is that actually going to be more of a hindrance using bullet bill? Don't know. We're gonna have to see how that goes. And then I think the blue shell. I mean, the blue shell's never going away. I think they said that they had. I forget which game they said they were gonna almost exclude it from. It may have been Wii, but I think they said we're gonna exclude it, but everybody liked it too much, and it felt sad not having it, so we brought it back. But yeah, and then I see in the new Switch game that's supposed to be coming out, the different items that are gonna be there. That's gonna be like a whole new freaking can of worms that everybody's gonna have to deal with. Everybody got so familiar with these items from the last almost a decade of it just being like the same Mario Kart, and now we're going to have new things to worry about. It's going to be interesting seeing how it's going to go with this next one. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing this new Mario Kart, which is kind of why I wanted to talk about the items a little bit. Like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to this, but like I'm pretty sure like me talking about how like some of these items work. Some of you may even be like, yeah, I did notice how they like always avoid my bananas when it's like the AI or computer players. They never hit it. Or it's going to be like, yeah, I do wish they would bring back the 5 banana bunch. Like, that would be super neat. And then, yeah, like I said, we're going to be looking forward to seeing all these like new items. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting seeing what this next one's going to bring. But if you guys are wanting to hang out later, I'm going to, at least for today, whenever I'm uploading this, I want to try this evening to be playing Mario Kart 8 on my streaming channel, which is going to be in the description if you guys want to go and check that out. And I think it's going to be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, nothing insane. But yeah, I'm going to be there later on. So hope to see some of y'all there. And let me know, like, what is your, like, maybe your favorite item to use, and what is going to be, like, your least favorite item that you like seeing. Like I said, for me, I think probably my least favorite item is a blue shell, just because it's one that I remember seeing the most. And then I would have to also say triple red shell is probably my least favorite. Just for the fact that you get somebody that's just them. If they time it perfectly, you're stuck. But yeah, let me know what your guys' favorite was. And then also, I hope to see you in my streaming channel. And if I don't see you there, well, I'll see you for the next video that I make. I want to try to make it on a movie. Not entirely sure if that's going to happen or not, but we're going to see. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.